October ASCA board meeting. Our meeting protocol is to respond in a roundtable fashion. So you'll hear us respond in alphabetical order by first name. The first thing on the agenda for our open session tonight is the system report by Rachel Vest. Rachel? Rachel, are you there?
So sorry, I had myself on mute. We've actually received a couple of quotes for migrating ASCA's cloud from FrogSlayer over to a server of our choosing, but we're still reviewing those quotes and we're still waiting for one more quote to come in, so we will not have those quotes until nationals for the board. I'll send them as early as possible so that you guys can review them after we have received them all. Any other questions about system?
Are there any questions? All right. Next item is the new event calendar for the website. That's also you, Rachel.
Heidi had asked one more time yesterday if anyone had any issues with the calendar. Jan was the only one who had questions, and we answered Jan's questions. If not, I think we're ready to go live with the calendar. Have you guys all looked at it? And if not, please do so ASAP so that we can get it up and running.
Are there any questions for Rachel on that or any comments? Ann, do you have a comment?
I don't.
Cindy?
I looked at it and looks good.
Denise?
No, fine.
Jan?
A great improvement. I look forward to it.
Jean?
Yeah, I love it. It looks great.
Ken?
It does look wonderful, seems to really do what we need it to do, and I think we should just get it going.
Okay. Linda? Linda?
I agree.
She fell asleep.
Liz?
It looks great. Thanks.
Preston?
It looks fine.
All right, thank you, Rachel. Next thing is adding the Groups IO and the website forum as official communication tools for ASCA. That is item number 12 in the Dropbox. We talked about this last month, and there was a desire to see the written policy. And so I went back and found a written policy that had been presented to us earlier and added Chuck's disclaimer. And several of you have added some revisions to it this week. And so I am wanting to make this motion, and Jan said that she would second it. Is there any discussion of this motion? Ann?
No.
Cindy?
Did we ever decide how there was conflicting a little bit, saying every post would be reviewed before posting, and then it also said light moderation. So what are we doing here?
No, it does not say that every post would be. If you look at the wording, it says that if people post things that are violation of the rule, that that person will be warned the first time by the moderator, and that the post will be removed from the list. And then if they do it a second time, then that they would be removed from the list themselves. But no posts will be filtered. Posts will just go straight to the list, or not the list, I'm sorry, the group. This is what we had talked about back in Oregon when we first started talking about moderators for the ASCA L.
It was probably on a previous. Thank you.
Denise,
No, I don't have any questions at this time.
Jan,
I'm good with it.
Jean,
No comment.
Ken,
I'm fine with it. I'm not really familiar with moderation practices, so I was a little lost in the discussion about lightly, moderately, severely, moderated, and all this other stuff. Basically, what we're just doing is we're just letting people submit what they want, and then if it's contrary to our expectations, it's removed, and the person is like warned, please don't do that again. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Okay, thanks.
Linda,
Pass.
Liz,
I have nothing to add. Thanks.
Preston,
Yeah, I support the motion.
Rachel,
Sorry, I support.
all right, is there any other discussion? All right, there's no other discussion. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Okay.
No. No.
That was Ann and Jean and Cindy. Linda, what did you say?
Nay.
All right, so, and Linda, so 4 noes. And any abstentions? All right, the motion passes. And then the other motion was about the website form. I'm sorry?
This is Ken. Can I just ask a question about what we just did here?
Yes.
I did not hear any negative comments during the discussion phase. What did I miss on this motion? I was looking for some insight as to whether or not this is standard operating procedure, but I hear that 4 members decided that it was not a good motion, but I didn't hear any discussion as to why it was not a good motion. Can we take a moment? Perhaps they could enlighten me.
Ann, do you want to say anything about why you voted no?
No, we're not required to.
Not really.
I'm not requiring you to. I'm just asking if you'd like to. And you're certainly welcome to
I
say
don't
no.
want to.
Okay. Would any of the 4 of you like to make a comment? Ken, they would not care to make a comment on that. That's fine. No one has to justify their votes.
I wasn't asking them to justify. I just feel like I feel like I did not have complete information. Something's wrong with this motion, and I don't know what it is. Oh, well.
Okay, the next one is to add the website forum as another official communication tool for ASCA. It's also on the Dropbox. Are there any comments about this motion? Ann?
No.
And once again, I'm sorry, I'm going to go back. So I'm bringing forward the motion and Jan is seconding it. Ann does not have a motion, comment. Cindy, do you have a comment?
No comment.
Denise, do you have a comment?
No comment.
Dan, do you have a comment?
Is this going to be a little more user-friendly than the last one, the forum that was produced before? I believe she said, I guess I was thinking we'd have an example of it.
Well, we can wait if you would like to wait. She assures me that it is more user-friendly than the last one. Those were her words.
Efforts.
But if you would like to wait and see a sample, we could certainly do that. Jean, comment?
No, thank you.
Ken, comment?
Well, I have a funny feeling we're headed for the same direction. We're trying to have a business discussion here, and I'm hoping it's not going to be the same way. I can only base my decision on the information I have, and if there's something negative that I'm not made aware of, I can't possibly take that into consideration. So if there's a reason why this motion is also unacceptable, I'd like to hear it, but so far I don't know why we would not pass it.
Okay.
So that's what I have to say.
Linda, comment?
Yes.
Liz, comment?
No, I have no comment. Thank you.
Preston, comment?
I agree with Ken.
Rachel, comment?
I never used the old forum, so I'm okay with it. If Heidi says it's going to be user friendly, I believe that, and look forward to having a place where ASCA members can post their thoughts without fear of attack.
Jan, since you are the second on the motion, would you feel more comfortable? We could put this off until
Nope, I'm good with it.
meeting in 2 weeks.
Nope, I'm good with it.
Okay. All right. Is there any other discussion? All right. So all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed?
Yes.
No.
No.
All right. Calla, did you get those no's?
I did if
All
it
right.
was Ann, Cindy, Jean, and Linda.
I'm pretty sure that's who they were.
Okay.
Any abstentions? All right, so that motion passes. So I'm gonna have Heidi send out an invitation to these 2 new forums using constant contact. Do I need a motion on that, or is that a fine thing to do? Ann, do you have a comment?
No, I don't.
Cindy, do you have a comment?
Yes.
Denise, do you have a comment?
No comment.
All right, Jan, do you have a comment?
No, I think we've already passed it, so it could go forward.
Okay, Jean? Ken?
I'm sorry, I missed the question.
I said I'm going to go ahead and instruct Heidi to send out an invitation to these 2 official tools, unless there is some objection to that. I'm just going to see what anyone's comments were.
Yeah, not a problem.
All right, Ken?
No, I think that's reasonable. I've only heard positive things about these 2 motions. I haven't heard any justification for no vote, so I'd just go ahead with that.
Okay, Linda?
Yes.
Liz?
No, I have no comment. It's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Preston?
Let's move forward.
Okay, and Rachel?
Same, move forward.
All right, thank you. All right, so now we are going to follow up on realigning ASCA's regions and dividing Region 7 into 2 regions. Preston?
The way this topic is labeled, it's a little bit misleading. We are realigning ASCA, or the possibility of realigning ASCA regions and dividing Region 7 into 2. That's not really right. We're just realigning regions. And realigning regions may divide Region 7 into 2, however that works out. I really appreciate what Calla did in putting this document together that's in a Dropbox. I gave her information, I guess I gave everybody information about what the proposal would look like and the numbers that are associated with it. But I think Calla took all the rest of the information and made it easy for us to compare the existing regions and the populations and the states that are in each region compared to what the proposed would be. So the information is there. That the idea, the concept was that we would try and equalize the regions a little better as far as population. We would also try and get the states in a more geographically closer area instead of like, was it Region 5 now, where it stretches from, oh gosh, Texas all the way through the east. So the idea here is to work on those two things. And I guess I'd heard a comment too that when I was in Europe a while back, that it was tough on a lot of folks, at least in the stock dog world, that they'd have to travel to a region outside their area for one of the trials that they would judge, and they would have to come to the United States, which is expensive for them. This would give them the opportunity, if they don't want to come to the United States, they still can. But if they don't want to, and there were two regions in Europe, then they would just be able to transfer between the countries. So this is something that we had, I think, in our strategic plan. Ray helped me a lot in putting the numbers together. He generated all these numbers for me. And what I'll be able to do, since we're not going to vote on this tonight, I'll have a set of maps for everyone to look at, outlining how the states are grouped together. And then this document that Calla put together will go along with that map. So open for questions.
Can I make a comment? Because my name's on that as well. This is Jan.
Yes, go ahead, Jan.
The California split seemed to follow with the same split that is done for confirmation. And talking to the office, and everyone is maintaining that same separation that California is used to be. And that the numbers are divided, are on that list, and it's just to spread the membership numbers more evenly all across the United States. That was the intent of it. So thank you.
All right. Anne, do you have a comment or a question?
Yeah, I have a question. It just crossed my mind, and I don't know the answer without looking it up. But is our poll regions right now?
I didn't understand.
This would have an impact on, we can make a decision as to whether it does anyway, because it would have an impact on number, people represented if we decided to make it be that way. It might have an impact on the committee. Judges, and I'm not sure what else it would have.
And you're breaking up pretty badly. Did anyone else understand what she said?
Nope.
No.
Oh, you're coming in and out. We're only hearing every other word, Anne. I'm sorry.
Do you think it's my voice? Because I think it's my voice.
No.
I think it's
And
the
if
phone.
it is, I can't.
No, it's I think it's the phone, because what we hear is very clear. It's all of a sudden you're just gone.
Hang up and call again.
Yeah, call again.
Okay.
I'll come back to you after you call back in. Cindy?
If we now have 7 regions. We're changing to 14. We'll combine them for our committee representation. So outside of our committees and then judging outside of region, is there anything else that's going to affect?
I don't think so. I think maybe the stock dog committee may be the only one that would have to combine regions. I think most of the other programs have anywhere from 12 to 14 or 15 members in it now. So you could have, if there were 14 members in the confirmation committee, you could have hopefully, one member from each region. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes you have two men, and that's what we have now. We have more than one sometimes from one region, and then nobody from another region. in the stock dog, since we only have, it specified 7 contestants and 5 judges. The 5 judges could stay the same. The 7 contestants, we'd have to, like you say, combine regions. But, you know, California would be easy to combine. Obviously, 3 and 4 would be easy to combine. You just kind of go down through it. And that's something that the stock dog committee could look at and see how they want to combine those regions, if that's what we decide we want to do.
Oh, okay, so the other committees would have one from each region. Is that how it?
Yeah, that would be the optimum.
Okay.
All right, Denise.
I think I'd be interested in seeing Preston's map because in the confirmation end of this anyway, I'm not sure I'm real clear on. The division is strictly for the committee members. Is that right?
It's to kind of give, and it's more than just that. You know, right now, the committee members are in their region trying to get input from the folks that they visit with at shows and so forth, and bring that back to their committee so they can discuss the issues. You know, the idea is that if they can be in an area that's geographically closer, and if they wouldn't have, you know, 1,000 constituents instead of 300, it would be a whole lot easier for them. It'd be equal for them, I guess, to try and get that information pulled together for their committees. That was the thinking behind it. That's kind of the reason why we try to get the population numbers much more closer together than it is now.
Okay. Yeah. No, I do agree with that. I just didn't know. I know there's been some. Okay. I didn't know if there was a contention on the division line exactly in California, because I know there had been some discussion on that. But no, that's fine. I don't have any discussion.
You know, California is almost what 990. I'm sorry, 1,090 or something like that, and
right.
You know, dividing that in two, and I think that's where Jan is at, trying to find that optimum location to separate it. And if it's where the line is now in confirmation, I don't know why that wouldn't work.
Right. That's the thing. We had a problem with a geographic line before and an actual physical barrier within the state, but I think that's been cleared up. So either way, though, I think it would be clear enough whether it's geographically or the way it has been. So I would agree with that.
Yeah, Jean.
I like it. I think I like it. I really like the work that went into it, and I think it's going to be really helpful.
Ken?
Well, I like it. I think it's a pretty good idea. I think that if we're going to base our new regions on population, that we're going to have to put in there some kind of a time frame to check it every once in a while to make sure that the numbers stay correct. But the other thing is that I'm a little, in California, there's 3 areas. There's, California is divided up into 3s. And I remember when Denise wrote that there was a better dividing line for Southern California, and I don't think we ever did that. And I think we really should have done it the way she said, just because it was a natural geographical barrier. So I'd like to go back and at some point in time visit that for the Southern California to Central California line. But other than that, I think, how are we going to divide I know we set California up into 2 areas. How are we going to divide?
That was me again. This is Jan. I did it by zip code, and when I broke it down, it was near that San Jose. So there's already the line that's the northern and the central. It's between that line, and you're going to have to help me, confirmation folks. When I talked to the office, they felt that that line that we use for delegates should also be the same line that we use for confirmation. And it was the one near San Jose, California, a little bit below Sacramento. It was across that area.
This is Denise. That your division of this whole state of California into a northern and southern using San Jose area?
Yeah, those were those 500 numbers that he had. And it matched up when I talked to, where's that northern central line?
The north and central line is from Ventura at the coast to the east, or toward the east. And that is the line that should follow. It actually went up to incorporate the area of Lancaster because of the geographics of the mountains. They had that Lancaster Club in the central region, and there's a mountain range between them and the central region, so it actually need to be more in the south. Now, Ray, we were real descriptive on that. It was between the Joshua Tree Club and our club. Actually, we talked about it a lot, and I believe that Ray, he was in on that conversation pretty adamantly, and I believe that that was the change that was made, because I sent a map with the mountains included and the division of central and southern was to follow from Ventura and to actually follow the mountain range around and include the Joshua Tree Club to the south.
But where's the northern line?
The northern line is San Jose across, but there's really nothing above San Jose to Sacramento. There's no club activity above that line.
Well, there's members living above that line. So I guess we need to discuss that. Mine was by zip codes of members.
And this is just
that's good information. That's great information. I was just looking at numbers, so I'm telling you where my numbers came from.
Okay.
And this is just for regions, for committees. This does not have anything to do with splitting California for show areas, correct?
Oh, yes.
Right.
Most
Right.
definitely.
So,
yeah. But if you look at the map of California, you have your huge population in the Bay Area, San Francisco, and then across to Sacramento, and then your other have your huge population in the Los Angeles, San Diego area, and so.
I admit I was surprised too. I did all the zip codes. I was amazed, Denise. I'm from Salinas. I know that area, and I thought it'd be further south. But that was about a year ago that I did that. We can always redo it.
All right. Linda, comment?
I'm good.
Liz, comment?
No, I'm good.
Rachel, comment?
No, I'm good. I appreciate all the effort that Preston and Jan have went into on this.
I'd like to echo that. I'm excited about it. I think it'll be a good thing. I think it'll help our committees actually be more representative of their areas. And I do want to remember that we did send out that survey to our European members, and they overwhelmingly voted that they would like to see a divide. And then we asked our European committee to kind of consider that. So I don't know, maybe Ann, you might revisit that with them to get some of their input. And I'd like to see, I'm sorry, Ann, go ahead.
Yeah, I will do that. And they have been very divided on that. There's no one way or the other. Some of them feel account judges judging on two different regions. I don't think people
And
I think if the stock off probably anymore.
You're still cutting out pretty badly. I don't think most people could hear what you said.
Okay.
Let's do this. So
I dialed out.
Calla, if you would put this on our agenda for national so we can follow up, and then I'll ask Heidi to post this on trending news and our Facebook page and Groups IO, even though it's new, and I don't know. Jean, would you carry it to the ASC members also? I think we should get it out to the membership and get some feedback in the next 2 weeks before nationals when we revisit it.
Oh, you're talking about the division of areas?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Thanks. Okay, any other comments? Thank you, Preston. Thank you, Jan. All right, so the next thing is the new business office building. And I just want to give you an update on 2 things. We got some good news. The pipeline, you got a letter. I forwarded that to you today. I got that letter yesterday. The pipeline is not going to go through the middle of our building. Yay! It's going to go down our property line and should not affect our construction plans. So I forwarded that letter to you. And then Ray also got the first bid for the foundation work, and that was $3,800. And I forwarded that to you too, but it looks like the PDF is not, I couldn't open it. So I'm going to ask Ray to resend that to everyone. He also was supposed to today, he was hoping by today, but he didn't send it to me, so I guess it didn't come through. He was supposed to get a second bid. And Jean and I were talking about this. You know, you're supposed to have 3 bids for everything with ASCA. And Ray said that's going to be a little bit problematic because there's really only 2 companies in the area that are qualified to do this work. And so we probably need to talk to him about that. I told Ray I'd like for him to set up a meeting with us at Nationals so we could ask him in person any questions about this so that we can decide what our step forward is. Does anyone have any questions for me about this right now? Anne?
No.
Cindy?
I think even though the pipeline isn't going through the center of our property, we should find what the width of the easement is going to be, because I know up here with a 5-foot easement.
Okay.
So, you know, even though we might have a 12-foot pipe, we might have a larger easement. So we need to keep following through on that. Not be surprised by anything that when it does come through.
Okay. I'll send that question to Ray. Denise, do you have any questions?
No, I thought it was good that it followed the property line, but that was a real good comment by Cindy, because there always is something that comes up, and having a distance like a 75-foot easement for a 12-foot pipeline is significant because that lot's not that huge. But no, I'm good with it.
Jan?
Looks good. All looks good.
Jean?
It looks great. So thank you.
Ken?
It looks great so far. I would just like to have Ray sit down with us when we do get down there so that we can do overall comprehensive plan going forward, instead of just getting bids for foundation investigation and foundation work, and then let's put together the whole package so we can see what we're committing to. It's difficult to just do a piece at a time because we don't know what our ultimate goal is going to be. So is that understandable?
Yes, I will send him that.
Thank you.
Linda, do you have a comment or a question?
I'm good. I'm good.
Liz?
No, I'm good. It looks pretty good so far. Thanks.
Preston?
Yeah, I think Ken makes a good point. This bid right here, is strictly to look at the soil and how bad it is, because around this area, pretty much all foundations have to be engineered. And this just gives the information, pulling it together about how the soil has to be prepared. So, looking at the total package would be a whole lot better than, like Ken was saying, just looking at a piece at a time.
Okay. Rachel?
I agree with Preston and Ken. It's great to get bids, but until you know what your overall total is going to be, piecemealing it out, $1,000 here and $5,000 there, may not get you anything in the end if we don't have a in total for this construction.
Okay. So I will ask Ray to work on a comprehensive plan for the entire project. And for those people who could not open the bid, I'll have him resend the bid. And I will also ask him what will be the easement in relation to the pipeline, following up on Denise and Cindy's question. Anything else? Okay, so the next thing is Kala, follow up on the director's handbook. We had said that we were going to work on that. There were 3 or 4 of us that were going to work on that. We're going to bring it to the Nationals meeting, and that's kind of fallen to the back burner. Kala, comments?
Yeah, actually from the spring meeting, we talked about all directors would read through and submit changes to me by August 1st, and then we would vote on a final version for the Nationals meeting. And I got some changes from Dean most recently, I think today, and I'm happy to incorporate those and send to you guys something that could be kind of a final version, and you can vote on it at the Nationals meeting, or whatever you decide.
If someone still wants to make comments, do you want them to send them to you? There's only 2 weeks to go. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, send them to me by, next week, Wednesday. How about?
Okay.
So are you going to just put everybody's comments into one document, or are you going to decide which, how's that going to work?
No, I'll put together all of the suggestions and also suggestions, and you can kind of decide what you want included and what you don't.
Okay, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? All right. Number 16 is Anne.
We had Kelsey Jones. This is about the Nationals. Kelsey Jones had to withdraw as the best of breed judge at Nationals, and the Post Club was able to get Jessa Hatcher to replace him. So we have to approve. Is it Jasa or Jasa, I think.
Jasa.
Okay, so I make a motion that we approve Jasa Hatcher as the replacement judge for Kelsey Jones, who had to resign, for best of breed judge for Nationals.
All right. Do we have a second on that?
Second, Linda.
All right. All those in favor?
Do we have a discussion opportunity?
Oh, I am so sorry, Preston. It's late. I apologize. Any discussion?
I just have a question of why I guess Kelsey Jones had to be replaced.
Since we're not in executive session, I don't want to give too many details, but it was related to his employment.
Okay.
And he was very disappointed and felt very bad about it. It was not an easy decision, but he really just didn't have a choice. I'm sorry, any other discussion?
Yes, there might be some conflicts with entries now. We should have a way we should be putting this information out before people drive to Texas and find out there's been a judge change.
It's already on the website and it's on the Facebook page. And I'm going to have, now that it's approved, I'm going to have Terry send out a letter to all exhibitors.
Maybe approved.
I didn't want to have her send out the letter. We did post it to the website. We did post it to the Facebook page, but we didn't really want to send a letter until it was official. But yeah, we'll do that. And anyone who is now in conflict with Jasa Hatcher, of course, is eligible for a refund per the rules.
Laura,
Yes.
Ken, did Jasa have assignment for the next nationals?
She was the 2018 Best of Breed judge of the court. That's who we had asked. You had not approved her because you have not approved the premium yet, but she was the one. We did contact 2 other individuals, and they declined. And we were like, okay, what should we do now? And then Helen said, well, Helen Bergold is the confirmation chair, and she said, well, we could always ask Jasa. We know we want her, and we know. Anyways, I'm just babbling 'cause I'm tired, but that's how that happened. Rather than keep asking people and them saying no, we wanted to go with someone that we knew was excited and wanted to do it. The other 2 people asked, they were excited to be asked also, but you get this close. People have made plans. There's conflicts. They don't want to disappoint their friends that would have to withdraw. I mean, it's not an easy task. Let me just say that I want to commend Helen Bergold for finding a wonderful replacement as quickly as she did. Any other discussion?
That's all fine. Well, all I wanted to know was we have not approved the general judging slate for 2018. So Jasa won't be put up for Best of Breed next year. So
no.
That's what I was looking to see where we were at with that, because I just in the back knew that we were considering her for them. So thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay.
Can I ask a question?
This
is me. Does that mean that the people that did not enter under Kelsey have an opportunity to enter under Jasa, or is that a moot point?
That would be a moot point in my opinion, and according to the rules. I mean, the board would have to make a decision to do that. I mean, the catalog is gone to the printer, and you are 14 days out. We receive bad checks that have to clear the bank. I mean, that would just be, it's too close. Not that I wouldn't love to take more entries and get more money. But I would ask, that would be, you'd have to make a motion to make an exception to the rule, and I would rather not do that.
Okay, that was
Anyone else? Okay. If there's no other discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? I abstain. All right, I'll have Terry send those letters out. And then the last thing tonight is rally committee request to print flyer, and that's Jan.
Hopefully you've all seen this in the Dropbox. They've done a lovely job. It's a promotion for rally for all breeds. So they have several juniors with their dogs in that little program. You can't see any faces. But they would like to approve this. This was on their strategic plan that they should have promotional, and they would like to have this printed through the office.
All right, is there any discussion on this? Anne? Cindy?
Good with it.
Denise?
No, I'm good with that.
Jan? Oh, never mind, Jan. Jean?
Yeah, it's fine.
Ken?
Is that Ken?
Yes, Ken?
Oh, okay. I would just like to hear some support. I'm a little leery about this all breed thing that we're starting to do in ASCA instead of just sticking with the Australian Shepherd. I know that the committees are putting together brochures, and I even noticed in the Stock Dog Rule Book that I hadn't noticed before that in the very front of the Stock Dog Rule Book it says that purpose of the program is to help identify good working individuals of all breeds, not only Australian Shepherds. So looks like there's a trend to start advertising ASCA as an all breed club, and I'm a little worried about that.
Linda?
We allow all breeds into all of our performance. So I would agree with it. I'm good.
Liz?
I think they did a great job, so I'm okay with it, although I do see Ken's point. Thanks.
Preston?
I agree with Liz. I think they did a really nice job of this for this brochure. I think it does look very good.
Rachel?
I'm really excited that we have a committee that is as excited about their program and actually created this brochure. I understand Ken's concerns, but I also know that we depend upon the other breeds to support ASCA. So I do not mind this trying to bring in more of the other breeds.
All right, any other comments? Anne, did you have a comment? Okay.
Oh, I was muted. No, I don't have any comments. I like it.
Okay. All right. So
Do we need a motion to accept this?
we should have a motion.
Okay. I so move.
Do we have a second?
I'll
All right,
second.
Preston said second it first, so I'm going to go with Preston. And do you have any other discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions? That passes. Tell them they can print that. And if there's nothing else, Calla, I have, I'm sorry.
I was going to ask one quick question. We were talking about Mary Hellmeister's question about printing the judge on the website so that they wouldn't solicit. And I put something out yesterday. Have we made a decision on what that motion actually was meant to be?
Well, I was the one who said what it was meant to be until I read what the motion actually was. And I apologize for being as adamant as I was, because it looks like the motion says it was intended for everybody. So all new judges. So I don't know whether we want to change that or what, because initially when I thought it out, I was thinking it was just going to be primarily for judges that were in the non-regular area that needed to complete some assignments before they would be able to move on and become a real judge. But I say the way it was worded when I made the motion that it's more broad than that.
Right, because we made that motion and the trade-off was we were trying to discuss what to do with the solicitation ban that we have in place for all our judges. So this was supposed to be a way, whenever judges were faced with needing a quota of judging assignments, we didn't want them to solicit. We wanted them to be on the website so that people could see that these people were going to be needing assignments. So,
But-
okay, good, thanks.
But Ken, I just have a question about that. Are you comfortable with that being judges that are already in higher levels? Like just because a person moved up to provisional that they should be in there for a year? I just am not sure. When it says
Well,
new
for me,
judges,
I don't have any fears about it. I think, of course, you wouldn't do it for somebody who moved up to the senior breeder level because they're not under a quota. Anybody who's under a quota is going to have to fight with all the other judges to get assignments. So they're either going to have to solicit or somebody's going to have to let people know that they're available and they need these things done within a certain period of time. So the idea was, instead of granting judges the ability to solicit these assignments that they need because they have a quota to meet, that we just assist them by putting it on the website so people could see, well, who needs a judging assignment? And I thought that was a fair compromise, and I have no problem with that.
Ken, let me say this. This wasn't really on the agenda, and we've been going for like 3 hours almost. And some people have to get up early. So can we put this on the agenda? Would you mind if we put this on the agenda when we meet face to face in 2 weeks and then hash it out there?
perfect.
Oh, I thought we were done with it, that we understood that it was for all levels. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I just was wondering where we were at, that's all.
I would kind of like for us to add it to the agenda so we can sort of hash it out, because I think
Okay.
Anne's original intent and what was really written are not the same. So, all right, Calla, so I have 4 things for you to add to the agenda for nationals: the region realignment, the reassignment, the reinstatement of the dog in question, meeting with Ray, and now this judge's motion. All right, anything else?
I have a suggestion to add to the affiliate meeting, that we go over the affiliates part of the new rules for disputes, and not that they're not disputes, but the conflict resolution. I think we should go over that with them.
That's a great idea. Okay. All right, so guys, meeting's adjourned. Have a good night. I'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laura.
Bye. Thanks, Laura.
Safe travels.
Thanks, Laura. See you soon.
Thank you. Safe travels.